podcast, whatever, cactus care related kind of streaming. I brought a lot of containers with cactus seedlings that I want to go through today. I have seeds that I want to clean. Yeah, and overall, there's a lot of stuff that I need to do right now on air. I'm doing it live on the channel. The idea is to give you, to show you the life of a cactus breeder in winter right now. And I'm just in the middle of growing seedlings for the next year. Already getting the seedlings ready for next year. Yeah, and I missed yesterday's stream. Sorry for that. I had my long-awaited delivery of heating oil, and it was pretty exhausting. It was a lot of work. I also, maybe I got a little, a little nose full of just from just pulling the tube of the oil, the heating oil, to the tank and all. You're just exposed to it a little bit. So yeah, I was very exhausted yesterday. But today I'm back. I'm very happy today, because this has been something that was on my mind for very long, for months actually. And now that I finally have it delivered, I can kind of lean back a little and just focus on coming through the winter. So yeah, very happy that this is solved, that problem. Finally having a fully heated house today, and I'm very happy about that. Is something that you just take for granted sometimes, but I just saw how little was still left in the tank, and then I had the heating everywhere reduced to a total minimum, and yeah, it gets cold sometimes, especially when you are not having a window, like the one that just fell out, like mine. So yeah, I'm glad this is fixed. Now I can focus on the window, getting the window replaced now in the next days. And then I'm ready for Christmas. I hope that I have a peaceful time around Christmas. So yeah, welcome to my stream. Welcome to my podcast kind of thing here. Great to be back. I missed yesterday. Had a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, now it's getting finally, I can focus on the work, focus on everything that needs to be done here. We only have maybe 2 months left where we can take down the trees, and we need to use it. That is going to be the work that I will do in the next days, maybe in the next couple of weeks. We will be out removing trees from around the greenhouses. So yeah, that would be the plan for the next couple of weeks. And yeah, hopefully getting that window fixed. Took longer than I thought. So yeah, welcome everyone to the stream. Seems like we have gotten a lot of visitors right now. Thank you for joining us. This is like a cactus kind of thing. We have grown seedlings from seeds, and these are the containers where we have them in it. These are all little cactus seedlings, and I brought them here so we can check them on air, on the live stream. Yeah, different kind of cactus seedlings, Lubivia, Cerenzia, a few Echinopsis, that kind of stuff. Everything with interesting flowers. And yeah, we will check them now. Been sowing out a lot of them. If you want to see the previous videos, check them out. There are a lot of them, either as a video or as a live stream. So yeah, great to be back. So yeah, let me check the seedlings here. A little bit too deep in the pot. You can see it's a little bit too low, and that takes away a little bit of light. But apart from that, this is nice. Seedlings are looking okay, and that one seedling that I had removed from the plastic, that was growing on the plastic, that had dehydrated, it looks a little bit better today. So maybe we can save it. Apart from that, this is good. No fungus gnat, no nothing. That's the way I like it. So yeah, next one. Okay. Well, most of the things are okay. But this is looking a little bit like there might be fungus gnats involved here. There's a seedling. For one, I see that there's a seedling lying here in the crack beside in the corner of the square pot. And there's a seedling that's lying there in front. And that is not a good sign. Can mean that there are fungus gnats in the soil. We'll see. Let me pull it up. I need to inspect the roots. If the roots are all right, I will just put it into the soil again. But if the roots are gone, it might mean there's fungus gnats in this container. But it looks okay. Might have been caused by fungus gnats, but I want to give it a chance. I would just reposition it, transplant it a little bit. And now I try to get the seedling out of the gap here that has fallen down. That's why it's not good to sow out close to the edges. It can really, you end up with seedlings that are germinating at the bottom of the square pot where they have no chance of making it. And then you have a fungal infection in the closed container that you cannot really see. You don't even know it's there. So yeah, I recommend avoiding that. Here's another one. Okay. Here's a small seedling that seems to be variegated. We have to keep a close eye on that. Not looking like not good. It doesn't look like the variegated kind that survives on their own root. So we might have to remove it at some point if it can't produce chlorophyll on its own, which a lot of these variegated kind of half albino kind of plants sometimes do. So yeah, welcome guys. Great to have you in the stream. Missed yesterday's stream, so I'm very happy to be back. Had a lot of work with the heating oil, the delivery of the heating oil, and it was so exhausting. But now it's done, and the house is heated fully. So yeah, and today I can focus again on all this. Brought a lot of seedlings that I want to go through that I haven't checked in a while. Okay, let me see what's coming in here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Livestream has kind of reached an outside audience, getting some weird comments, but it doesn't matter. We're growing cacti. Well, if you have found the channel just from outside, welcome to my stream. We're growing cacti. I appreciate any kind of, positive kind of questions, that kind of stuff. Always happy to take them. And if not, yeah, we're doing something else. I'm just checking the seedlings that we have sown out, and I will go through all of them. So yeah, these are looking great. Nothing really problematic. A few one or two maybe that have a reddish discoloration, but not really something that requires us to do something. Okay, closing up. Haven't seen any fungus gnats yet, so that's great. Okay. Yeah, these are looking great. Really interesting kind of seedling. Very decent seedling size. Already have, I don't know, the third set of spines, growing very fast. A little bit of moss in this whole thing, and it keeps coming back. I think at some point we might have to transplant the seedlings. But yeah, apart from that, they look great. They don't seem to mind the moss or algae that's growing there. Just close it up again. Haven't seen any fungus gnats, and that is great. Very happy about that. So, okay. Let me see. If you have any kind of questions, just send them in. I'm happy to help. If not, we're just checking the seedlings from the last couple of months, maybe. It's finally going into the second month, I believe. Tells you a lot how much we did since then. Like in just 1 month, we have ended up with so many cactus seedlings, and yeah, we will end up with more than we can take care of. Check this out. Looking great. All a good, healthy skin color. And these are from Uvokale, from a Uvokale cross with Bamboy. So very nice. Happy about those. So yeah, next one. Oh, come on. Okay. They are all concentrated in one corner, which is really bad. I mean, it's not that that they can grow there. They can, but in the corner, it takes a little bit of light away from them. Just light that they would get if I had planted them in center of the pot, of the square pot. So it can make sense sometimes to transplant them. Here's a seedling that has germinated on top of the other seedlings, and we need to transplant that. Just not, it can't stay there because at some point it would run out of nutrients. Okay. Yeah, transplanted that one seedling that I found on top of the others. And apart from that, it's all looking good. They're growing healthily. They just need a little bit more light. So maybe I can try to give them a better spot under the plant lamp. But this is okay. Happy with that. Okay, next one. Everything looking normal. Not really seeing any kind of fungus gnat here. And you can see it in the seedlings. When there's no pest, everything should continue to grow healthily. There shouldn't be constant problems that you run into. And when you have them in a container, then there's often a reason for it. Very often fungus gnats or maybe mealybug. These kinds of things can happen with seedlings. So it's important to work clean. Make sure that if you get an infestation somewhere in a closed bag, you can get rid of it locally. These are looking great. Check out how many seedlings there are in this pot. If I would, if you would single them out, you would have this would take a lot of space. I think there are at least 100 seedlings in there. I should not have sown out so many seeds in one container. I mean, this is going to be a lot of work. We'll see how that goes. we have to build a greenhouse soon. Or maybe we're getting one of those poly tunnels, like these tunnel greenhouses, something like that, because otherwise we can't house these. Okay, next one. Let me see. Moving these on the side. Okay. These are looking great. A little bit of, I don't know what it is, some sort of moss, but it's not one of the species that cause problems. It's not one of the species that covers the whole area, at least not yet. This is a very a tiny kind of moss species that is just growing there a little bit, but not covering anything excessively, which can happen. But this one, I can keep it in, it doesn't matter. If I see moss that is kind of, you see, when it's starting to overgrow the seedlings, that is a good point when you should take it out. But in this case, a few plants here and there, as long as they do not take away the light, it shouldn't be a problem. And the seedlings look healthy. Let me see what this is. A multi-hybrid by myself and a really good flower. So these could be great. Putting them aside. Overall, I say we have at least 100 containers full of seedlings that we have grown in the last couple months. So there's going to be a lot of work for us. In this one, this is so fragile, so just freshly germinated seedlings that I need to close it up again right away. We can't handle these. These have just come up maybe a week ago. This needs to be brought back under the lamp. No movement, no nothing. And at that point, maybe we can get a few of them to size. At this point, it doesn't seem like it. The seedlings look tiny, not the right size. There might have been, this is a teleflora cross, and it might have been like genetically incompatible. Okay, next ones. Tiny cactus seedlings. Let me see what they are. I think it's a Uwe Kala hybrid cross. Yes, with Zizala. Kind of colorful hybrid. Much like pink stripes. And the seedlings are looking great. Very healthy. Bunch of spines already. First few sets of spines. These are on a great way. Great pass. I like them. Hopefully we can get a few of them to flower later. The cross, on paper, it sounds amazing. And everyone, welcome to my stream. Cactus care live streams kind of stuff. We're just going through containers full of seedlings, and later we will clean some seeds. All the classic kind of cactus related work that you have to do. And every now and then, I don't know what triggers it, but every now and then there's suddenly a lot of visitors from outside in the stream. So thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. If you have any kind of questions, write them in the comments. And if not, I'm just continuing with my work here, just doing my stuff. So in this one, this is Bamboy, and unfortunately I only see one weak seedling. So these seeds were probably not very fertile, not very healthy, and that is really sad because the flower is amazing. Really hope that I can at least get 1 or 2 seedlings from that cross to flower later on. But the way they look like might be difficult. Sometimes you can see when you open up a bag and you see genetically something isn't right, and that's how that one looks. Okay, more seedlings. looking great, healthy, maybe 2 to 3 weeks old from an Uwe cross. Apart from that, all looking good. I mean, there's maybe a little bit, maybe we need to add a little bit of water. Put a little can here, but that's it. Just a tiny bit of water, because the soil was a little bit too dry. But apart from that, just closing it up, not seeing any problem that requires me to do something. That is great. It's always good when you don't have to do something. Never change a winning team. Let it go. If there are problems, then we will have problems. The sooner or later, we will soon run into problems and have to kind of change stuff anyways. So every time something goes well, we change nothing. And these are looking great also. No fungus gnat. I mean, and if we would see fungus gnats, we wouldn't be able to change it anyway. So yeah. Hey, good morning. Welcome to my stream. I'm still experimenting with the name. Oh, thank you. It's okay. Yesterday, I missed the stream because I had my heating oil delivery. And it's always a lot of, it was very exhausting yesterday. Took a lot of effort to get the heating oil to the house. We're a little bit off-road, off-grid. And it was a lot of work to get it up. And then you handle like when you pull that kind of tube that they deliver the heating oil with, you always get a little whiff of the oil, and it I was sleeping half the day yesterday because it was so exhausting. So yeah, I'm glad to be back today, and I'm just going through the seedlings that I missed yesterday. A lot of them. Apart from that, I'm feeling great. I can finally heat the house fully. Was a little bit in the last month or two. I always had the heater running at total minimum, just so we can, just so the house is heated. But there was barely anything in the tank left, so I didn't want to turn it up too much. And I can now finally heat the house the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, don't have to crank the wood oven so often. Well, the guy hasn't called yet. They are waiting for. Last time I spoke with them last week, they were waiting for the parts that they had to order for the window to fix the window. So it's ordered, and they said they will instantly do it as soon as they have the parts. I actually expected maybe this week. We'll see. Every morning right now, I expect the call. But I don't want to pester. I don't want to call them all the time. I don't want to annoy them. So I will just wait for them until they are ready. But it shouldn't take much longer now. I'm really looking forward to having a normal life again. You wouldn't know what it means to suddenly no longer have a bathroom that is, the bathroom's still there, but it greatly affected everything. It has rained in a few times. I took a few videos where it had rained into my bathtub. But yeah, for now, I think it's over soon. This week, maybe next week at the latest, but it's done soon. So thank you. I hope you're doing all right too. I'm great today. I'm just happy that I can finally start focusing on the work again. Like sowing out, getting the plants through the winter. And I have a lot of outdoor work that I need to do to keep the greenhouses free of trees that are blocking the light. So that's what we will focus on now. Now that the thing with the heating oil is done. but I'm not doing it forever anymore. That is such hard work. Yesterday I felt like I have a heart attack. At some point, yeah, it's just something when you have to pull that tube up to the house. You need 3 people to do it because that tube is so heavy, and yeah, just hard physical work. Okay, yeah, I want to continue. So yeah, these are looking good. Also, too many seedlings in one container. I'm just sowing out too many. When you are like putting the seeds on top of the soil, they don't look like 100 seedlings, you know. It doesn't look like 100 seeds, but it goes very fast, and you end up with so many seedlings, and you always need space for them too. So don't forget that. But this is great, nice and healthy. We can close this one up again. Yeah, and just for the outsiders that find the stream, we have started off with just little square pots. You can use classic sowing soil, and you just need a good bunch of cactus seeds that you can sprinkle on top of the soil. A lot of the cactus seeds need light to germinate, so we have sprinkled the seeds on top of the soil here and have it in a closed plastic bag. And if kept at the right temperature, you will have cactus seedlings like we have here. It's really not so hard. Inducing the germination isn't the problem. It only gets difficult later on when you have to get them to adulthood, you know? Like, it is so easy to induce the germination, to have a lot of seedlings suddenly, but it is so hard to get them to the point where you can no longer lose them. Here's a question about little like mold in the seed containers. If it doesn't affect the other seedlings, if it doesn't spread, it's not really a huge problem. What happens often is that when you put in a bunch of like middle-aged kind of seeds, sometimes the older ones, they don't have life in them anymore. You can have mold growing on old seeds that just weren't viable anymore. It's basically like a piece of wood at that point, you know? Like, so if you see that some of the seeds are getting moldy, that can mean that it's either the overaged seeds or maybe not cleaned well enough. Maybe there was still fruit remnants on the seeds. If the mold is coming from a seedling that you lost, then yeah, I would take it out probably. Probably easier to take it out. It always depends on if you can take it out easily without causing problems, you know? I mean, in general, if you can take a fungal infection out, just do it. If not, keep an eye on it. In many cases, it won't affect the healthy seedlings. But it's just something that where you kind of have a little thing that puts out spores all the time besides the seedlings, you know, besides the healthy seedlings. So if you can take it out, if not, keep an eye out if it spreads or not. If it spreads from one seedling to the other, then you need to do something. But there are many different kinds of species of fungal, you know, fungi that can grow alongside the seedlings without problems. It's not always, you see that very often when you have kind of a mushroom coming up in the soil of a larger plant. That happens so often. And in this case here, it's just seedlings where it happens then in your case. Whether or not this little piece of mold can continue to grow depends on all kinds of factors. Sometimes it's a wood-loving kind of mushroom that has germinated, so it wouldn't be able to spread to the seedlings, you know? So yeah, try to remove it carefully, or with a little pencil, with the tip of the pencil, just carefully trying to get it out. If it always depends on if it gets worse or not. If nothing is getting worse, it could as well stay there. But I always try to, when I see a fungal infection, I instantly take it out, because I know that sometimes they can take over everything if they find the right kind of setting. If the temperatures are very high, the higher the temperature, the more problems you can get with that. Also, because you tend to lose more seedlings due to the higher temperatures. Okay, so yeah, these are looking okay. You can see there's a big difference in regards to the color of the seedlings. Some are yellowish, some are greenish. So I suspect this will be something like a variegated thing. And there are some seedlings that have come up that have germinated on top of others. And these I need to move now. They would just expire on top of them, causing a problem then. So yeah, I'm transplanting the few seedlings where I feel like they aren't in the right position. They always need to touch. The root needs to be in connection with the soil. And this one here I'm taking out. I think this one seems to have been damaged by fungus gnats. I see that at the root system it has gotten some a bunch of bites, you know, from the larvae of the fungus gnat. They are like little worms, tiny worms that can walk around on the soil, and they really like the sensitive cactus seedling roots that you have there. Okay, yeah, I transplanted most of the ones that weren't right, and in general this doesn't look right. This doesn't look great. There must be some fungus gnat kind of thing going on there. I'm watering a little bit more, because the seedling, like the soil is too puffy, too loose, and sometimes you can fix that by adding water. Okay, yeah, this is nice. Looking good now. But I gotta keep a close eye on these seedlings in particular. This is one of the containers where I feel like there will be problems, because one or two of the seedlings might already be too far gone. I don't want to take them out now. I want to give them a chance. But that also means we need to be very careful about reoccurring fungal infections that can just come back at some point. Yeah, actually, this one's pretty gone. I don't think it will make it. But I want to give it a chance. I just move it to the outer areas of the pot in case there would be a fungal infection. The fungus doesn't find anything to spread to. Sometimes it just helps to have a little distance between the mold and the seedling. So every time I see that a seedling isn't doing well, I take it and I move it to the corners, to just avoid that. Like if something happens, it gives me more time to take it out. Okay. Yeah, but something isn't right here. I can see that a lot of the seedlings, they are falling over. They're falling over too easily, and there's some fungus gnat thing going on there. I'm sure of it. Tiny seedlings here. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense to keep them around. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going through the seedlings that we have sown out here. And yeah, there seems to be a fungus gnat kind of thing. fungus gnats probably caused some damage on the roots of the seedlings. And I'm just trying to clean up a little bit, but it's probably not getting better. Gotta keep a very close eye on these seedlings here. Apart from that, yeah, everything bad, but apart from that, it's great. So yeah, continuing with another one now. I don't want to see it anymore. This one was really bad. Okay, these are looking good. Nice for a change. There's one seedling that I want to take out probably here because it's too small. Doesn't seem to be big enough to grow into a healthy seedling. Also removing a little bit of the seed remnants when they germinate and the seed remnant gets stuck at the tip. Let me see. Are there any columnar cacti that flower from the apex? Yes, there are many. I mean, a lot of these Peruvian and Bolivian species, like Bridgesi, flowers from the apex. You know, all the classic kind of columnar former Trichocereus species. I mean, Trichocereus, the genus will be back, or at least a lot of authors already treat it like that. And a lot of them flower from the apex. It's just something that you see in a lot of these species. They just flower abundantly from the upper part, and the further down. I mean, there are some species that manage to also put out flowers from the lower parts. So it's not that they flower exclusively from the apex. But if you like that kind of flowering, these are the species that I would go after. And very often in the videos, you can see where the flowers are coming from. Like in my case, a lot of the candicans kind of plants, they don't get so tall, so they flower all over the body. And that might also have to do with them being connected with species like Lobivia and Pseudolobivia that flower from everywhere. I mean, not really the tip itself. They flower from the areoles at the upper part, you know, at the apex. And which areoles in particular is changing from species to species. Some are flowering more like in 1/3 of the upper part, you know. Some from just the very first areoles at the tip. That really depends on the species. But what they all have in common is that they usually flower from the areoles, which is also where the spines come through. Where the spines come through, that is where the flowers will emerge, and where you will have the ovum that will grow into the fruit. So yeah, these are looking nice, but also a little bit too deep, planted too deeply. Is it too deeply or too deep? I don't know, but it's definitely not high enough. It should get more light. Are there any crests from columnar cacti that flower? Well, it's a big subject, and I've discussed it a few times. Some crested plants do not flower well, and it doesn't have to be all the time like that, because I've seen crests and monstrous versions that flower normally. But you know, when you have a certain kind of cultivar, like the TBM cultivars, it always depends where they were grafted, where the pieces that they used to grow them, to propagate them, were taken from. You know, like I said in another video, if a species always flowers from the same kind of areoles at the top, at the tip, at the apex, when it's always flowering from the same areoles, then it needs these areoles to flower. And if a crested piece or a monstrous piece just has been taken from a different part of the plant, that might already negatively influence the flowering. It might just not be able to form these areoles naturally. Since the crested grows and the monstrous grows, they're kind of different a little bit in the way that the growth is formed. And that can mean that whatever crest you have, it doesn't flower well. But it is definitely not a thing that happens reliably. There are many crests that flower perfectly. I've even seen, like, going back to the TBM story, I've seen TBM versions that have flowered. But it's usually stuff that is seed grown. When you get a crest from that you have grown from seeds, then you grow it for maybe 15 years, and then it can be old enough to flower. Also, if it reaches the necessary size, and they have a higher chance of flowering than those old pieces of the small TBM that is always just replicating the same kind of growth, where it keeps repeating the monstrous growth, you know. That is my opinion why the TBMs flower so poorly. But if you search on the internet, you will always find photos of flowering crests, flowering monstroses, like that famous TPM that has flowered, that keeps flowering very often. There are many breeders that work with it, like Misplant. I think Misplant did hundreds of crosses with that plant. And a lot of them are good, and a lot of them also replicated the mutant gene in the next generation. So the plants that they grew from these seeds, they are flowering. Yeah, interesting kind of subject. Okay, so these are pink stripes. Seedlings looking normal. Not really something that that worries me. Healthy seedlings and all. Great to have something from pink stripes that isn't really genetically weak. These look great. They grow healthily. That is perfect. This is how I want it. So yeah, I'm very happy to be back today. I missed this yesterday. And every time I miss a stream, I will usually put out a post on the channel. You can also make posts apparently, and every time I'm not coming online, I will tell you. At least for the next time. I mean, I'm currently streaming almost daily, and if that ever changes, like that kind of a schedule, when the flowering happens again, for example, then I will let you know. Until then, I'll always post an update when I miss a stream. Okay, yeah, and these are looking good. I mean, the seedlings, all healthy. One or two that might need me to become involved. But for now, everything looking good. I will close this up again. Haven't seen fungus gnats yet. But I've seen one where I'm almost certain that fungus gnats were in it. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh, this isn't good. I don't know what's going on here. Here's a fungal infection. We try to show it. Let's see. No, I can't show it. It doesn't show in the video. Well, there's a fungal infection there, and I will take it out now. This was a seedling, probably due to the heat damage recently when the oven was so hot. Okay, here's another one. Also taking it out. And here's another one. 3 very close together. This is almost certainly the same fungal infection that's been taking over them. Yeah, I was wondering about the posts on the channel, if they are actually shown. Yeah, then we'll see. I mean, very often when I miss a stream, it happens suddenly where I get a phone call where they tell me, hey guys, I'm coming with the window, this kind of stuff, you know. So I will try to find a better way. We'll see. Maybe I will do it on social media, might also work. But yeah, so I've cleaned this up. And the more I clean, the more problems I find. So I'm taking out another one. This is very bad. Had a local outbreak, and you see how often we checked the containers, and we still had a local outbreak that was able to spread to 3 different seedlings. So no matter how often you do it, it still happens. It's just if we hadn't checked the container so often, then this container would have probably been gone completely. I think the last time I checked this container was maybe 3-4 days ago. And if it had taken longer, it would have spread to more seedlings. So now when we're closing this up here, we might get to the point where we have to transplant them. If the fungal infection keeps coming back now, we will transplant them. So I will close this up now. And it doesn't really close properly here. I'm not sure what's going on here. Come on, man. Do your job. It's just, you know, it's a zip lock thing. It's a zip bag. It's the only job that it has. It needs to zip. Okay. Next one. Maybe 10 more and then I'm done. It was a little bit more this time. Okay. By the way, so like if there's something like the chat, can you see the chat? Like, is it always there? Like, is it always visible? Because I was never really sure if I am the only one that's seeing the stream, that's seeing the comments, or if it's a general thing. Like, is it always like this? Like visible? Can you see your posts? That would be interesting to know. But it should actually be like that, the more I think about it, because people also had conversations in the comments. I'm still trying to figure out how streaming actually works. I'm still not really... Okay, good. That's how I wanted it, you know, because very often when a question comes in, it's good that people see it and can then, you know, that then they understand the context. I was always kind of like concerned that I was having discussions and people weren't able to know what I talk about because they wouldn't see the comments. But yeah, that's great. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. I'm still trying to learn how to use the stream. I'm doing it for maybe 2 months now, and I haven't really, I'm still not aware of everything. Yeah, these are looking great. It's okay. Healthy seedlings. Uwe Kahle kind of cross with Flying Dragon. Flying Dragon and Cantora 1433. Famous Reinhard Liske hybrid. Okay. Let me see here. Most look all right. 1 or 2 seedlings look like like fungus gnats might have caused some damage. I really think every time we're in the last couple of weeks, every time there was a problem, you could at least directly or indirectly say that it was caused by fungus gnats. They are just really painful, really annoying. Oh yeah, okay. That's why I had wondered, because I was trying to watch the video afterwards, and then trying to see the comments. I wasn't seeing that anymore, so that was kind of confusing to me. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, they could just put the chat back, like, I don't know. Maybe this is something where I can change the setting. I will try to look into this. Hey mate, welcome to the stream. Okay. Yeah, I mean, these seedlings here, there's some fungus gnats in the soil, I know it. But I can't see them right now. Not seeing anything where I need to do something right now, but I'm taking one or two things out here that don't look healthy enough. Here's a little seedling that I'm giving a chance, a little bit more water maybe. There. I'm leaving it now, not really seeing any fungus gnat, but the seedlings look kind of weakish sometimes, some of them. Not really the way they're supposed to look. So we will do another transplanting in the next streams sometime soon. I already have 3 here, and we will do them all at once. These are looking great for a change. Healthy seedlings. And the lamp really has an effect. You can really see how fast they are growing. With a plant lamp, you can get them through the first most dangerous phase for the seedlings very fast. The faster they grow, the better. But it needs to be healthy kind of growth. Don't overfeed them in that time. Don't over-fertilize. These are looking good. No fungus gnat, no nothing. Just closing it up again. Always happy about that. Okay, next one. Okay, yeah, these are looking good. A little bit too dry, maybe a few drops of water in this container too. Apart from that, not seeing fungus gnats, not seeing any kind of problem, so I'm closing it up again. Yeah, I think like just referring to a comment about soil, and generally, if the soil works for astrophytum, it would work. It would work for other Mexican species too. I mean, some of them have a slightly different mineral need, like, I don't know what the English word is for calcium, I think. Something like that needs to be added a little bit in tiny dosages. And if it's already in the soil mix for the astrophytum, then it should be all right. Then, I mean, it, like you said, it's very similar kind of soil. It will probably be a very fast draining kind of soil. That's my opinion of it. Like that's how I would expect a soil like that to be. So it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, you can try it out. The biggest problem is probably fungal infections, and you prevent that by giving the plant full sun, a good fertilizer, healthy care, a lot of water in summer. And I don't mean over water, you know, every time the soil is completely dry, water again. And they will love that in summer if the drainage is right. If the soil has enough drainage, that should be they should be able to enjoy that, you know. With certain plants, it matters more that wherever you have them, the location where you have them is good, that they aren't forgotten, that they are regularly watered, that they are regularly fertilized, that kind of stuff. Yeah, should be great. Try it out. I mean, I wouldn't right now. I don't think there's anything in it that would make it like not fitting. I mean, like I said, calcium. I think they put in a little bit of calcium in the soil for the more stone-loving kind of species that are literally growing on rock. And yeah, that is something I would definitely do. Like maybe, what's it called? Like clay, a little bit of clay. If you have clay locally, that kind of reddish kind of clay kind of soil, that can be great for them as an add-on. Adding that kind of stuff a little bit into the mix to improve it. Little bit clay and yeah, and calcium, and that should be all right. But I'm not sure how, like, the right translation for the kind of thing you need to buy. But look it up. It is always recommended for certain rock-loving kind of species that should be added. So yeah, these are looking good. Yeah, lame clay, exactly. I use a lot of that, and I used it before I even knew it was clay. Where I live, the whole area is like sandstone kind of thing, sandstone clay, and I use it a lot to root in it, because it's a great medium that dries out so fast. It dries out faster than infection usually takes to infect the plant. So that gives you that is very useful for rooting cactus seedlings, for rooting little pieces of cactus. Every time I need to root something, I put it in my local soil here. And yeah, so if you don't have that locally, maybe buy a little bit, like a kilo of clay, and it should probably improve the drainage even more. And with some of these species, that's exactly what's necessary. Okay, yeah, these are looking good. I'm almost through, maybe 5 more. Avocado seeds, everything looking healthy. We have 4 more now. Okay, yeah, this is one of the more problematic ones, and I already get frustrated when I open it up. I had to transplant them, and one had already, once again, was lying sideways here when I opened it up. Yeah, apart from that, it's okay. Not seeing fungus gnats, but this is the kind of stuff that they love to do. Just eating away the roots, and then the seedling falls over. Okay. Next one. Okay, so here is a situation where they are just fresh, germinated, very tiny. You can see it's just a dot. And they are just too young. And over here, there's a big piece of soil, a compacted round piece of soil that is lying on top of seedlings that have come up. I need to remove that. Yeah, and these seedlings here, like the other one that we didn't really touch, when we didn't really do something, these are way too small to do anything right now. So I would just close them up again and hope that they will continue to grow. A lot of these look like they might not grow, like there's some genetic problem that prevents them from growing naturally. Okay. So this is Humkes Roro. Bunch of seedlings, and one of them rolled around in there just now. Yeah, and they don't look so healthy. It's always the same story. Multi-hybrid, but it's such a distant kind of hybrid cross that the genetic health suffers a little bit from it. But they are okay for now. I expect that we will lose a lot of seedlings in here, in this one. In all the containers with Humkes Roro. Classic Hildewinterer, Echinopsis hybrid. Also in regards to the body, when you look at it, it's very clearly, you can see the Echinopsis body, but with the unusual kind of Hildewinterer influenced flower. So it is an interesting plant, but genetically not so healthy. Okay. Yeah, these have just come up. Also, maybe a few days old, closing it up again, just trying to not disturb them, giving them a chance to grow up without being bothered by me moving them around already. That will happen soon enough. Okay. We move these away, and then I want to do a few of the containers that I have on the ground here. Cleaning up a little bit here. So I brought some where we induced the germination, and I just want to see if everything's all right. This one here, I had this one at the oven, and the oven kind of, there's a hole in the bag from the heat. So we need to replace the bag. Apart from that, everything looks good. So I would just replace the bag and close it up again. Okay. And these will go under the lamp now. Hasn't been anywhere near the lamp yet. Just here on the side where I induced the germination. These are a little bit younger. The most recent batch that we have sown out. What temperature do you keep below your plant lamp? It's hard to say. I guess maybe 25 degrees Celsius. Just guessing from the temperature. I don't really keep track of it. I feel it, you know, after when you have a certain life experience with it, you always feel when the heat's too much. So I just try to keep it at that point where I feel like it's safe, and it's probably around 25. The warmer it gets, the easier it can get out of control when you have a fungal infection in a closed bag. So and you know, the lamp generates some heat. The lamp just generates a little bit of heat inside the closed bag, so it doesn't have to be so hot, doesn't have to be so warm all the time. They will continue to grow. I think 25 degree temperature of air around me, that is okay. Because again, the lamp will add a little bit of heat for every seedling in the closed bag. So yeah, these are looking great. Just germinated, healthy seedlings. We'll also go to the lamp. Next one. I don't know what's going on here, but it's not good. So 1 or 2 seedlings are lying. And I don't like when they lie around like this. It's not that I think that they are lazy, but this is just, this looks like fungus gnats. So yeah, I'm trying to carefully get them to have some sort of connection to the soil. But I already feel this is classic fungus gnat. So next time, we will use a different soil. This soil would require too much additional treatment. Hey, I'm currently like just checking them. Most of the ones have the right amount of water in them, in the closed bag. Every now and then I need to fill up a little bit water with the tiny water can here. Apart from that, I haven't even started spraying them yet. It's still a little bit early. Just keeping them in the closed container now for maybe another month, or maybe longer if we can. And then we will see what we do. And then we will spray them on a regular basis. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't look so good. I mean, a lot of seedlings have come up, but they haven't come up in a healthy way. So we just have to put this under the lamp and wait. Give it a little bit more time to hopefully grow. In here, a lot of young seedlings, tiny seedlings. Also a little bit too small. Closing it up again. I just wanted to see if everything's all right here. But this is good. This will go under the lamp. So let me see. This one here only has 1 seedling or something like that. 1 or 2. And those 2 seems like we might lose them. So we need to transplant these here. Different soil. Because of the fungus gnats. Okay, this one. Tiny seedlings too early. Closing it up again right away. Okay. This looks great. Lubivia seeds. They are coming up, but very young. They still have the seed on top of them. Just induced germination maybe a week ago. So these are at the beginning, at the very beginning. And the last one now. In this one also, healthy looking seedlings, not seeing fungus gnats. For now it's okay. I hope it will stay like that. Okay. Now I gotta clean a bunch of seeds. So I can move on with my seed list. And over here I have a cross where you can see that genetically this wasn't a good cross, like it wasn't really working out. Moving this one away. This one here is a Wörlitz Cantora hybrid. And I've been drying the seeds on a paper towel. After cleaning the fruit, cleaning away the pulp. And now I have the seeds here. So now I'm cleaning everything a little bit more. Just wasn't clean enough. There's too much stuff that came with the seeds during washing. You really need to do it all like right at the beginning when the fruit is extremely fresh. Otherwise, it becomes more difficult to clean everything. The longer you have a fruit, the more it melts. It kind of melts into the seeds, and then it will become hard to get it apart from that kind of fruit material again. So sometimes we need a second cleaning process, like another batch where we clean the seeds a second time under running water in a sieve. I'm not sure if I need to do it here, but I always consider it. I always have it in back of my head in case I need it. Okay. This is a good cross. Wörlitz, Cantora Gelb, always potential. You have to grow a lot of them sometimes to get to the really good. You know, when you have 100 seedlings, sometimes you need to grow maybe 90 to get the good 10. But those 10 will be world class. That is how you have to approach it with these kind of hybrids sometimes. Okay. So I'm rolling around the seeds here on the piece of paper, and it just allows me to clean it a little bit more efficiently. But this is going to take a while. Do we have a favorite species of cactus? I mean, I have a few that I really like. I mean, I've shown Echinopsis glauca on the channel this year, and I really liked that one. I recorded a few amazing videos with it. I like Tulhua jacensis, Echinopsis Tulhua jacensis, because it has an amazing flower. I also like Taryensis, the species Taryensis, because it is has a nice magenta colored flower. And the longer I'm a breeder, the more unusual the plants are that I really like. Because I've seen a lot, and there's some that will always stand out. Like the flying saucer will always stand out as a hybrid. Just talking about hybrids, flying saucer was always impressive. Telegonus is a great species. Sörensia telegona now has an amazing flower, beautiful, big, smells nice. So that is really nice. I wouldn't be able to pick one, but I have all these that are on the same kind of level that will always impress me when I see them. So yeah, the ruffled hybrids like Gräserverfolg, Selbstbestäubung, that kind of stuff, like the really ruffled flowers will always blow me away when I see them. Pink stripes is amazing. You see, it's very difficult to pick something like that's the best. Yeah, someone's writing that they get a flying saucer today. Give it a few years. It doesn't take long. Flying saucer, it grows. It only needs to be like this big to flower already. In the right setting, it can flower very fast. So a small plant, within a few years, you have something that's already a flowering age. And it's a very fun kind of plant. In the beginning, the flowers are kind of smallish, but later on, that plant, the bigger it gets, the more energy it has, and the more it can push out flowers at once, like more than one, multiple flowers at once, that kind of stuff. Flying saucer is really impressive. There are hybrids, like the old school hybrids. Some of them, there's just hype, just hype, no, nothing behind it. And with flying saucer, all the hype is justified. It is just a great plant. One of the best hybrids ever made. And everything that you do, like as a breeder, this is the kind of level that you gotta first reach if you wanna, you're trying to leave a mark. That is how you leave a mark, like flying saucer. We're still talking about it, maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 years afterwards. Really impressive. So yeah, I'm sure you will be blown away when you see it for the first time. When I saw flying saucer for the first time, it was like with 3 flowers at once flowering, and it was really crazy. It looked very nice. I really need to, last year I had to take my plant, my large flowering plant, had to take off the tip because it had become so hard to handle, because it had become so heavy. So this year we are transplanting it. We are rooting the flying saucer, the mother plant, and I hope it goes well. It's one of my favorite kind of plants. If you can plant it out, if you live in a country where you plant it out, this thing will blow you away. Okay, we're getting somewhere. This is already pretty clean. I just want to have everything clean enough so I can bag it. And this is already good. Maybe 250 seeds. Like I said, from a cross between Wörlitz and Cantora Gelb. I have a few different plants from that cross. I don't know, maybe 30, 40. And the quality of the flower is very variable. Like that, some of them have the classic pink purplish kind of color that you see from Wörlitz. But every now and then you get a perfect mix of them, and the offspring has flowers like pink stripes, like that amazing kind of colorful hybrid. So yeah, these might be, we should probably sow them out this year. I think I'm running out of bags for them. I think I have one more. Then I will get me new ones later for the next video. I just need new bags here. I'm currently using plastic bags for the seeds, and it's not because I really like it, but it's what was just available. I prefer paper bags for seeds. Okay. So Wörlitz, Cantora Gelb. I really have a lot of them. Probably too many. This year I sorted out a bunch of plants, and I should have done it earlier. You're always, then you don't have the space for the plants that are flowering for the first time, and they should always have the priority. So long term, I will have to sort out more of those old school kind of plants. You just can't keep everything. But we are growing so much from seeds here. I mean, you've seen what we are growing here. Then we need the space for the stuff that that is fully original. Okay. This is a Lobivia hybrid. I think I have no more bags now. But it's not a problem. We will just do that next time. Just cleaning these a little bit. And next time I will come back with a new pack of seed bags. Okay. So cleaning these up a little bit. And I think then I will kind of end the stream for today. 10 minutes or so. If you have any more questions, happy to take them. If not, I'll probably kind of clock out around the 1.5 hour range. That's usually my time frame where I'm getting tired. But it's great that I'm here again, that I'm doing the stream again. I really missed it. And also thank you to everyone who kind of supports the channel with comments and all. I've seen it in the last days. The comments are coming in, people writing nice stuff. It was just so exhausting in the last days with what I have here with the heating oil delivery, that I didn't get back to a lot of people. But yeah, I appreciate it. It was a great thing, you know, when you're kind of struggling. Feels great to have to always have that support. So yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Tomorrow we will continue with the other seedlings back there. Maybe transplant the ones that need to go into the washed pumice. And by having a bunch of seedlings in washed pumice, this will give us a chance to compare maybe a little bit to show how the seedlings are doing in the washed pumice and compare it to how the seedlings are doing in the other soil that we had like on the channel in the last month. That soil that we had, it's permanently done for seeds. I will just use that kind of soil for the large plants. And next round of sowing out, we will do with just sowing soil. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I appreciate it. You know, everything's growing nicely. That channel, every now and then, suddenly we have 30 people in the stream. And for me, that's a lot, you know, like I'm still kind of new to all this and it feels great. Just people are enjoying it. It's a nice, fun activity and it gives me something to do. So yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I think I will go out. I mean, I just don't have anything to do anymore here. So I will be back tomorrow morning and then we will do the other seedlings and transplant a little. So yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Until tomorrow.